Awesome. So hello everyone and welcome to an adaptive chair yoga practice. And so for those of you who have been coming for a while, appreciation for your dedication to your practice. And those of you who are new, I hope you enjoy the class. And so one of the things that I like to share is that one of the gifts of our yoga practice is the idea of prevention. And so consistent practice over time yields the best results. So having a commitment to a practice. So it's called a practice. Anyway, really very much delighted to be here with the opportunity to teach again. And so thank you to the Disability Foundation and ConnecTra and my lovely tech host today, Adam, who's going to help guide us from behind the scenes. And so as always, I'd like to invite you to begin your yoga practice by finding a comfortable seat. Sit in a way that you feel the most at ease. It is challenging for our nervous system to calm down if we're uncomfortable in our bodies. And then when you're ready, I'd like to invite you to bring your hands to your navel center, your Buddha belly, or maybe to the middle of your chest. And then an invitation to take a moment to allow yourself to consciously enter into the present. And setting aside whatever was going on for you before the class, for the duration of the class, knowing that we can come back to that again after class. And then when you're ready, release your arms down by your sides, spiral your palms open, and shake your hands vigorously. Wiggly fidgets. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And from here, we'll transition into mindful movement. As you're ready, reach your arm up to the sky. And then slowly float your arm down. Gentle movement, reaching up, way up to the sky. And slowly float your arm down. Let's explore adding a gentle breath to the movement on inhale, reaching your arm up, full length of your inhale. On exhale, float your arm down, the full length of your exhale. It's as if on our inhale, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end point. On exhale, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Release both arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your lap, and we'll begin the movement on the other side. As you're ready, reach your arm up to the sky and slowly float your arm down. Gentle movement, reaching up, way up to the sky. Slowly float your arm down. Again, let's explore adding a gentle breath to the movement. On inhale, reaching your arm up, full length of your inhale. On exhale, float your arm down, the full length of your exhale. It's as if on our inhale, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end point. On exhale, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Relax your arms down by your side. And this time we'll explore reaching both arms up to the sky. And take a look between your palms if it doesn't create tension in your neck, and then return your gaze on the horizon. If you'd like, maybe exploring pressing into the palms of your hands. There's a sensitive point there. And together we can shout out, I am, I can, and I will. And with a sigh of relief, release your arms down by your side. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Rest your hands on your thighs. Maybe taking a moment to notice which feels better for you, resting your palms face up, or does it feel better to rest your palms face down? If you are feeling restless, scattered, resting your palms face down can encourage grounding. If you are feeling tired, I'd like to invite you to explore resting your palms face up, open to receive. And then when you're ready, an invitation to begin to soften your gaze, so moving our gaze downward. Well, moving away from the busyness in our minds and more towards our heart. Allow your facial muscles to soften and release. Drop your jaw. Allow your shoulders to relax away from your ears. Relax your elbows. Relax your wrists, your hands, and your fingers. Allow your throat to soften and release. Relax your upper back. Relax your mid-back. Relax your lower back and your legs. Relax your legs. And then from here, we'll transition into a gentle movement to help release the tension in our neck. And so I'd like to invite you to begin with simple neck rolls. See if you can avoid the temptation to move your head to its full range of motion. And then move your head in the opposite direction, other direction. Move your head up and down as if nodding yes. And move your head from side to side as if nodding no. And then when you're ready, an invitation to drop your ear towards your shoulder. Maybe it feels okay to relax your opposite arm down by your side. Extend beyond your wrists, your fingertips. And we'll meet back at center. So moving to the other side, draw up your ear towards your shoulder. Release your arm down by your side if you'd like, extending beyond your wrists to your fingertips. And bring your head back center. Rest your hands on your thighs. And take a moment, and from here, I'd like to invite you to reach your arm up. So moving towards having our arm in line with our shoulder. So if that feels a little too intense, maybe notice how it feels to back off a little. So lowering your arm. And then wherever your position is today for your arm, I'd like to invite you to spiral your palm open. With a soft bend in your elbow, extend your arm away from you. On inhale, we'll meet back at center. Palm face down, release. Let's practice the movement on the other side. As you're ready, reach your other arm up, spiral your palm open, soft bend in your elbow, extend your arm away from you. On inhale, meet back at center, palm face down, release. Let's practice this gentle movement one more time on each side. And this time, if you'd like to add neck movements to the arm movements, and you're invited to do so. Otherwise, keeping your gaze straight ahead and maybe looking down towards the floor a little bit to help release your neck. So here we go. On inhale, reach your arm up, spiral your palm open, gazing beyond your middle finger, extend your arm away from you. On inhale, meet back at center. Palm face down, release. So begin again, fin again, reaching up. Spiral your palm open. Exhale, extending your arm away from you, gazing past your middle finger. On inhale, meet back at center. Palm face down, release. Release both arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs, palm up or down as desired. And notice how's your breath. Notice any subtle sensations. And so let's continue with shoulder circles. So roll your shoulders up, back, and down. So soft, organic movements, nothing rigid. So it's not meant to be a big scrunch up towards your ears. And then reverse the direction. So roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And then an invitation to reach your arms in front of you, palms face up, and then take your hands to your shoulders and then stretch your palms. Take your hands to your shoulders, stretch your palms. And maybe exploring alternating from side to side. Release your arms down by your side. Spiral your palms open. Open up your armpits. And so reaching out, broad through the collarbones, extend beyond your wrists, your fingertips. Maybe noticing if it feels better to have your palms face down, or does it feel better to have your palms face up? On your next inhale, an invitation to reach your arms up to the sky. So maybe taking a look between your palms. If that doesn't create tension in your neck, then return your gaze on the horizon. Fold your fingers in, press into the palms of your hands. And this time we can shout out, instead of I, let's place a we in our shout out today. So we are, we can, and we will. And with a sigh of relief, release your arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs. Take a moment and notice, how's your breath? Notice any subtle sensations. And so let's repose. I'd like to invite you to make sure that your feet are placed evenly on the floor or on your footrests, foot plates maybe. We want to keep our connection with Mother Nature. We tend to start losing that. Root down through your sits bones. Maybe notice where your bottom and your thighs are in contact with your seat. Energy moving in two directions. Lengthen from the tip of your tailbone all the way up through to the crown of your head. You might imagine that you have a thread on top of your head and it's pulling you way up to the sky. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. So you might take two fingers, place them on your chin. So maybe imagine a turtle. And so from here, I'd like to share a poem with you by Mary Oliver. And so Mary Oliver lived to be to the old age of her old age. And she passed away a couple of years ago. I think she lived in Massachusetts. And so I hope that this inspires. And so sitting comfortably, effortlessly upright, maybe softening your gaze or closing your eyes softly. First Yoga Lesson by Mary Oliver. Be a lotus in the pond, she said, opening slowly. No single energy tugging against another, but peacefully all together. I couldn't even touch my toes. Feel your quadriceps stretching? She asked. Well, something was certainly stretching. Standing impressively upright, she raised one leg and placed it against the other. Then lifted her arms and shook her hands like leaves. Be a tree, she said. I lay on the floor exhausted. But to be a lotus in the pond, opening slowly and very slowly rising, that I could do. And so I'd like to read it one more time. First Yoga Lesson by Mary Oliver. Be a lotus in the pond, she said, opening slowly. No single energy tugging against another, but peacefully all together. I couldn't even touch my toes. Feel your quadriceps stretching, she asked. Well, something was certainly stretching. Standing impressively upright, she raised one leg and placed it against the other, then lifted her arms and shook her hands like leaves. Be a tree, she said. I lay on the floor exhausted, but to be a lotus in the pond, opening slowly and very slowly rising, that I could do. And so with that in mind, I'd like to invite you to just roll your shoulders back and down a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. Maybe closing your eyes softly, focused inward, or soften your gaze. And then an invitation to bring a gentle awareness to your breath. Without changing anything, maybe noticing that as we inhale, things expand. On exhale, things contract. And notice, is your breath long? Is it smooth, or is your breath rough? And then an invitation to place your hands on your Buddha belly, so on your low belly. Or maybe resting one hand on your Buddha belly, the other on your heart center. And from here, we'll transition into a simple breathing exercise. The research shows can help with pain management and anxiety. And begin to deepen your inhale, lengthen your exhale. And then see if you can begin to smooth out your breath. Your inhales and your exhales are about the same duration and quality. At any point, if you notice your mind gets distracted and wants to wander off, no big deal. That's the nature of our mind. Simply bring your awareness back to your breath. And now see if you can add a quality of softness to your breath. So you might imagine that you are petting your favorite four-legged friend. Or you might imagine that you just tasted something delicious. And see if you can bring that same softness to areas of your body that you feel are too tight or knotted. Our breath is long and smooth and soft as we breathe in and as we breathe out. And just for a few more breaths, or as long as feels comfortable, I'd like to invite you to keep this simple breathing exercise flowing. At any point, if you notice that your mind gets distracted and wants to wander off, as often it will. An invitation to bring a gentle awareness to the sounds around you. I can hear what I think is the sound of a float plane flying above our little cabin in Half Moon Bay. I can hear the ticking of the old clock in our living room. Maybe noticing the gentle tone of my voice. And then in a loving way, bring your awareness back to your breath. our old friend, our breath. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm. Your natural rhythm. Maybe observing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. Drop your chin towards your chest. Gradually blink your eyes open. And we are falling awake, not asleep. Falling awake, not asleep. Notice if you felt a subtle shift in your energy. And we've begun the process of tuning into our bodies and connecting with our breath. The bridge between our body and our mind, our breath. When you're ready, release your arms by your sides, spiral your palms open, open up your armpits and wiggly fidgets. Shake your hands vigorously. So a gentle reminder that if anything I share with you causes any discomfort, if it causes pain, I'd like to invite you to come out of the pose or the movement and maybe take the opportunity to explore visualizing the movement or the pose. So imagination is powerful. So feel as though you're in the pose or doing the movement. And so from there, I actually brought my Tibetan bells today. So I would like to ring them 3 times. And so I love to use sound as a way to minimize pain. And I have been exploring this for a few years now. And so Tibetan bells are now one of my favorite ways of doing this. And so let's repose. So spine is long, front body is soft. Invitation to press down through one foot and then down through the other. So it might be an energetic pushing down. So pushing down to go up. Maybe noticing, do you feel one foot more than the other? Our Buddha belly is soft, breath is quiet. And then when you're ready, an invitation to bring your hands together at your chest, or maybe it feels better for you to place your hands on your Buddha belly. So that might be a little more grounding or comfortable. And from here, I'll transition into a practice called sun breath. So meditation on the heart. On inhale, extend your arms away from you. And then bring your hands back together at your chest, or maybe your Buddha belly. In your own time and rhythm, an invitation to keep this gentle heart opener flowing. And if you'd like, imagine the sun at your heart center. On your inhales, as you extend your arms away from you, imagine the radiant rays of the sun radiating out all around you. And so when we bring our hands back to our heart center, Buddha belly, maybe bowing to our heart. Inhale. Spread your fingers wide so this can feel awesome if you have arthritis maybe in your fingers. And then maybe explore making soft fists. Inhale, open. And then if you'd like to join me on an exhale, making a humming sound like a bumblebee. Inhale. In your own time and rhythm, inhale, sounding like a bumblebee. Place one hand on your Buddha belly, the other on your heart center, chest if you'd like. Maybe noticing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And drop your chin towards your chest. Release your arms by your side. Spiral your palms open, and again, wiggly fidgets. So a little more vigorous this time. Wiggly fidgets. And so at this time, I'd like to invite you to walk your hips forward in the chair if that's available to you and you would like. And so today I placed a yoga mat along my spine. And so this is something that you might want to explore in your yoga practice is a yoga mat along your spine, maybe a block, something lovely along the spine it can help with like kind of contracting, collapsing we do in our chests, a lot of us. And so if you're needing the back of the chair for support today, honor that. So yoga meets us exactly where we are. And so let's repose. Ground through your feet, sits bones sharp on the chair. Lengthen from the tip of your tailbone all the way up through to the crown of your head. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And from here, I'd like to explore with you a gentle movement to help find our balance. And so my favorite definition of balance to date is the equal distribution of presence throughout our entire body. And so on that happy note, hinging from the hips, I'd like to invite you to rock forward in your chair. And so it's not about seeing how far we can go. We just come to that just right amount of effort and comfort, and then rocking back up. And so gentle movement, rocking forward. Noticing that sometimes when we come into a seated forward bend, our chin wants to jut forward. So if your chin's jutting forward, tuck it in slightly, and then we'll rock back up. In your own time and rhythm, I'd like to invite you to keep this gentle movement flowing. And sometimes it can be interesting to close our eyes as we practice these movements. When you're ready, slowly come out of the movement, come back to a neutral spine. Release your arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs. And take a moment to notice how this movement has made you feel. And then when you're ready, let's begin to sway from side to side. And so micro movements, visualizing the movements, focusing on what we can do. Slowly make your way back to center. Release your arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs and take a moment to notice how this feels. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, I'd like to invite you to inhale through your nose unless you're congested or have an obstruction. And on your exhale, see if you can draw your sits bones towards each other. And then release. Did you notice a subtle shift? Maybe so subtle that it might just be apparent to you. So maybe a little lift in your chest. And then when you're ready, I'd like you to lean, if you're in a chair, maybe on your armrest, wheelchair, and then pull the buttock flesh away from your sit bones. Or maybe do a little bum dance. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And then from here, let's move into a gentle twist. So alternating, drawing your hands in towards your hip creases. And keep your head and your neck in line with your spine. And then maybe exploring, if you'd like, bending your arms low in front of you, gazing straight ahead. Gently twist from side to side. So gazing straight ahead helps us to focus our mind. If you'd like to challenge yourself a little more today, or if it's available to you, maybe explore bending your elbows, fingers reach to the sky. Inhale to one side, exhale to the other. Walk your bottom forward in the chair, your feet forward a little if you need to. And so I like to hear my breath with some of the movements. It helps me to focus our mind. So I'm going to inhale and exhale through my nose. And you're welcome to join me in that practice if you'd like. Slowly come back to a neutral spine. Release your arms down by your side. And then an invitation just to let your arms hang by your side. Relax by your side. Our Buddha belly is soft. And notice what happens when we allow our arms to hang down by our side. This is pulling our shoulders away from our ears. And so a lot of us have our shoulders up around our ears. We're collapsed forward. I'll just exaggerate this a little bit. And collapsed in our chest. And this is so hard on our breathing, our heart, and so on. And so let's roll our shoulders back and down just a few times. Spiral your palms open with a soft bend in your elbows. Reach your arms up. Fold your fingers in, press into the palms of your hands, and together we can shout out, we are, we can, and we will. And with a sigh of relief, release your arms down by your side. So when we lengthen our exhale, it is calming for our nervous system. And so let's give our hands a little shake out. So I'd like to share a practice with you called waving to our ancestors. And so when you're ready, bring your hands in front of you and then begin to wave your hands. And then reaching up to the sky. And then hinging from the hips, come forward a little, waving, saying hello to Mother Earth. And reaching up, waving to our ancestors. So I had a woman in my class for a few years who lived to be about 102 or 1 or 3. I think it was 2 or 3. And one day she said, I feel like my ancestors are waving back. And then just like you're shaking water off your hands, let your arms float down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs, palm up or down as desired. Let your breath come back to its natural rhythm. Your natural rhythm. Maybe observing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And notice, how do you feel? Not about what we look like in our yoga practice. The diagnostic tool is, how do I feel? And so moving on, I'd like to invite you to maybe bring your feet a little wider than the outer hip bone distance, if that's possible. And take a look at your feet. And it's okay to have your toes turned outwards, but see if you can bring your knees so that they're in line with your ankles. And so sometimes when we rotate inwards or too far out, that can be difficult. That can be challenging. That can be hard on our knees. And so let's transition into a movement I like to call stirring the pot. And so hands on your thighs or wherever feels comfortable. Let's begin making circular movements. So maybe moving from our rib cage, coming forward. And then circling back. And so moving in your own tempo, at your own tempo. And so this movement can feel a little strange if you're not accustomed to it. And so moving with our breath. Our breath is long and smooth and soft as we breathe in and as we breathe out. And then when you're ready, move in the other direction. And so I'd like to invite you to bring a gentle awareness to the space behind you. Bring your awareness to the space in front of you and the space beside you. And trust that you're being supported. Then slowly make your way back to a neutral spine. Bring your feet back so that your knees are approximately hip distance apart. So a little trick for that, maybe it's too soft best. And take a moment to notice how this feels. Okay. And so repose, make sure that you're seated comfortably in your chair, effortlessly upright. And so just looking at the time. So I'd like to come into a flow. And you could think of this, you can imagine a string of pearls if you'd like. And so in a way, deconstructing poses and creating a flow. And so I'd like to invite you to bend your elbows, palms facing each other. Draw your forearms together or towards each other. Open up your chest. Imagine you have a pea between your shoulder blades and you're trying to squish it. Draw your elbow points down towards the earth. Turn your palms face in towards your body. And then on inhale, reaching up to the sky. So it might be arms in front of you. And then hinging from the hips, come forward in your chair, taking hold of the underside of your chair. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. And then as you're ready, pressing down through your inner heels, place one hand on each knee or thigh, lifting from your chest. Come on back up. So let's repeat this flow one more time. Bend your elbows, palms facing each other. Draw your forearms together. Inhale, open up your chest. So gold posts. Draw your elbow points down towards the earth. Turn your palms face in towards your body. Reaching up to the sky. Hinging from the hips. Come forward a little. Take hold of the underside of your chair. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. When you're ready, pressing down through your inner heels, place one hand on each knee or thigh, lift from your chest. And we'll practice one more round if you'd like. So elbows bent, draw your forearms together. Inhale, open your chest. Elbow points down towards the earth. Turn your palms face in. Breathing in, reach up to the sky, so up to your place. Hinging from the hips, come forward a little. Take hold of the underneath the side of your chair. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. So we're forward with a flat back. Press down through your inner heels. Place one hand on each near thigh. And come on back up to a neutral spine. Release your arms down by your side, then take a rest. And notice, how's your breath? Our old friend, our breath. Notice any subtle sensations. And so at this time, I'd like to invite you to bring your hands together, rub your palms vigorously. And for this practice, if you're wearing glasses and you're okay with taking them off for a few moments, this would be a good time to take your glasses off. And so rub your palms vigorously, warming up your hands, energizing your hands. And if you're practicing with a yoga buddy today, perhaps your buddy could do this practice with you. And yeah, this can be lovely done with a partner. And so when you're ready, sweep your hands across your eyes. And then an invitation to bring your fingertips to the back of your neck and then tap the back of your neck. And then bring your hands up to your scalp, your head, and tap. So if you'd like, you could say, wake up, brain. Wake up, brain. Then just tapping your face slightly. Release your arms, take a moment. And then when you're ready, an invitation to stretch your arm out, and you can have your hand resting on your knee or thigh if that feels okay for you. And then sweep up from your hand right up to your shoulder. And then turn your palm face up and then sweep down. And so let's practice this on the other arm. So sweeping up and then sweeping down. And then when you're ready, an invitation to reach across and tap from the bottom of your ear down to your shoulder. Reach back, give yourself a pat on the back. Our Buddha belly is soft, breath is quiet. And then reaching across to the other side. Tap from the bottom of your ear down to your shoulder. Reach back, give yourself another pat on the back. And then when you're ready, I'd like to invite you to even lean back in your chair for this one if you want, and massage your organs. So your liver, your stomach, if it feels okay, hinging from the hips, come forward a little bit, massage your lower back. You can imagine that I'm massaging your lower back. So imagination is powerful. Reach up a little higher if you'd like to where your kidneys and adrenal glands live and send them some love. It's so important to keep this area warm. And then when you're ready, pressing down with one hand maybe. Sweep your arms forward. And so inhale, let. Exhale, go. And then if you'd like, take your beautiful hands, sweeping down along your thighs, your knees, maybe walking your feet forward a little bit. And so wherever you can reach to comfortably. And then sweep back up. And then let's practice this one more time. So sweeping down along your thighs, your knees, your shins, and even if you're able to, you can reach down to your feet if you'd like. And then come on back up. Slowly. Bring your hands so that they're just a few inches apart, facing each other. Maybe even resting your hands on your thighs. Close your eyes softly. Focused inward and notice any subtle sensations. And release. From here, let's practice a breathing exercise that I like to call breath of joy. And so for this practice, we'll inhale through our nose 3 times unless you're congested. And so if you're congested, breathe, of course, in any way you can. And so if you'd like, we'll add arm movements to the sniffing. So I like to think of it as climbing stairs or mountain or whatever visualization works for you. And so breath of joy. So adding the arm movements if you'd like. So make sure your feet are placed evenly on the floor, on your foot plates. It's bone sharp on the chair. Lengthen from the tip of your tailbone right up through to the crown of your head. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Our Buddha belly is soft. And from here, away we go. Inhale, 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 and drop. Do 2 more rounds if you'd like. Inhale, 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 and inhale, 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 and drop. Great. Okay. So let's come seated comfortably back in our chair in preparation for a short guided meditation and your final relaxation. And so I'm going to place this lovely yoga mat rolled up back along my spine. If you have a blanket or a pillow nearby, placing a little bit of weight on our thigh, it can encourage grounding and can help with fatigue if we sit a lot. So close your eyes softly if that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. And then I'd like to share a practice with you called Mudra, so hand gestures. And so I'd like to invite you to bring your hands together, however feels comfortable for you. It might be that Yana Mudra, actually, this just in. If you can bring your fingertips touching your thumbs, palms face down or up to you, either or is great. Draw your hands in towards your hip creases. Look down and into your heart, see what you can see. And then maybe exploring keeping just your index fingers tips touching your thumbs, pressing into your thumbs, and extend your other 3 fingers. The meditation is by Thich Nhat Hanh, a beloved Zen Buddhist monk. Breathing in I know that I'm breathing in. Breathing out. I know that I'm breathing out. As my in-breath grows deep, my out-breath grows slow. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. And breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Come into whatever position you'd like for your final relaxation. Make sure that you're warm enough. Roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. Tuck your chin in slightly to release the back of your neck. Our Buddha belly is soft, breath is quiet. Relax your jaw, unclench your teeth. Let there be a little space between your teeth. Soften your lower jaw. And soften around your temples. And soften the area between your eyebrows. Wide forehead. And silently, if you'd like, on inhale, saying let. On exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. And when you're ready, come on back seated comfortably to finish up your yoga practice. So bring your hands to your chest if you'd like, or maybe your Buddha belly. Bowing your head to your heart. Take a moment to honor yourself and each other for showing up for yoga practice today. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. The teacher in me honors and appreciates the teacher in each of you. Have a lovely rest of the day. Take a moment to notice how you feel before and after your yoga practice. And questions or feedback, I'm always happy to hang out with you for a few moments after class.